Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Jordan here with another Warhammer Total War live commentary. So in this particular game, I will be playing the Greenskins, and I'm going to be facing off against, it looks like, a Bretonian opponent. I'm hoping he switches to the vampire counts, just so I can see some of the new units, because I kind of wanted to face off against them to get a feel for them first, but regardless, we'll see here what he decides to pick. And there we go, he switched to Empire. Good man, good man. So we're going to go with the Orc War Boss. I put him on his pig there. Always a good choice in my opinion. We'll get him a potion. I know they just nerfed the potions, so that now there's a maximum on the amount a character can heal over the course of the game. So, well, time will tell if it's more cost effective to just bring one potion. But again, it's my first game, just jumped right into it, so bear with me, guys. So, as far as magic goes, just kind of get rid of those kind of lame attack effect spells and just get the core spells. So here we go, Fists of Gork as well as Gaze of Mork, which is pretty good at sniping out enemy units. So. You also want to get 2 Goblin Big Bosses. I usually get 2. It's pretty overkill sometimes, but regardless, it's pretty good. They're just so fast on these little wolves. They have like 94 speed, you guys see here, and they can just chase down enemy wizards, everything you need. So just great unit. So very cool there. Oh, and it looks like there's now a cap. Yeah, it looks like there is, because if I'm not mistaken, couldn't you pick more of those? I'm not sure, but you guys will have to let me know in the comments. But I haven't even looked at the patch notes really. Just got home from work and straight to business. So looks like my opponent already chose, so enough talking. Let's go ahead and just kind of bang out this army composition. So let's go ahead and get a spider. We'll get 2 Doom Diver catapults, and looks like I have some resources left, so let's get some Goblin Wolf Riders. It's time for business, guys. Let's get 3 groups. Let's just go hard on those. So got my front line. I got my shock troops in the back who are going to be buffed by the big Wah. Got some Doom Diver catapults, some Goblin Big Bosses to protect them. You guys can saw I got the pig, I got potions. Kept most of the standard abilities, but I did slightly adjust my Orc Shaman. So let's see what he brings. Hopefully he brings some of the new Grim and Grave DLC units. Of course, my next video after this, guys, I'll be playing one of those factions. I just wanted to jump right in and play one for you guys and hopefully get some content out to you nice and quick. But a lot of cool units. And hopefully he brings some of the new, elite units or the elite groups that, especially, I really like those skirmisher units that have the Vanguard deployment. Gosh, I need to learn all the names. So green to this DLC. I'm letting you guys down, I'm sorry. But this is a fun map. I always like it because both factions kind of just rush up the hill to see what you can, who can get that ideal positioning first. But Empire, they actually do have some new renowned siege units as well. So it'll be interesting to see what those do and how they carry their weight. So, all right, so it's showtime. So first thing you want to do, set up your primary battle line. So for me, that's what the lads are for. They're going to have that nice stretched front line, fairly wide. And then I will have my shock troops right behind them there. So you want them to kind of be in the center so they can plug in as needed. Then I like to keep the spider in the center back. Unfortunately for him, he's going to probably take some cannon fire. Although this hill is pretty nice for protecting me initially. So and then the second group, usually I'd probably just put the war boss in the group. Sometimes I like to keep them separate, but in this case, I'm going to be using the Wah, so I want him to be moving with that group. So this will be my goon squad back here. Use them to chase down enemy cavalry. Then I'll have the shaman in his own group. Because again, you want to be able to just quickly tab to 3 to get to those abilities instead of having to go here and then like click on them here. Just my 2 cents. I don't do that right all the time, but you notice how when I lock the group, they stay in formation too. So let's get the Doom Divers, kind of get a nice little angle where they can kind of get up the hill there. So we'll see how that pans out. Get the troops ready, because they're going to be marching right over that hill. The big bosses, get the shaman, and now, this map kind of sucks for Vanguard deployment. I should have looked at that before I picked these guys. I mean, I can like put them here, but my opponent's going to see that right away. So what I'll probably do is just have them back here and have them fan out. So I'll just, for now, put them in a 4 formation, and we'll be just kind of fanning them out in circles and trying to overwhelm my opponent with some of that micromanagement. Put these guys in 5. All right, so let's get started. So he started here, so nice line of sight for me initially. So first thing I'm going to do is just put the Doom Divers on his missile units, because they're going to generate pretty good value. Start moving, get a little bit of the high ground advantage. Get the big bosses, get the shaman, and the wolf riders. So it looks like he has some Reichsguard here. He has some swordsmen here, a different, mix of swordsmen and miscellaneous units there. And then also he has some Reichsguard over there. So that should be interesting to see how that pans out. So let's go ahead, and I don't think the Reichsguard have like armor piercing or anything. Do they? I'm not 100% sure. No, they're anti-infantry. So the lads here are going to get up the hill. They're not terribly armored themselves, but I want to try and get that high ground, so it's definitely a little tricky. Let's go ahead and take this spider up here. It's very heavily armored, so you can see the Doom Diver catapults already going to be shooting, generating some good value here. Keeping the shaman nearby. Make sure the big boss is in the ranks. Let's get the spider. I want to get that high ground. I want to get that hill so I can collapse down on this flank. You can see he's already taking a lot of damage here, but he has a pretty nice battle line. He has his rear flanks covered and everything, so it's going to be a little tricky. So I'm gonna path these goblins around the back and then path these guys up and around there. So now I shift path them, so they're going to run on their own. So I can kind of like work on other things right now, which is nice. So the lads are almost ready. They're almost in position. So we want this guy to be on swordsman. It's going to be pretty good. They don't have anti-large. And let's go ahead and start engaging the lads. Okay, so the goblins are taking missile fire, which is totally fine. And you see, I kind of outnumber him here on the flank. Let's go ahead and get those black orcs in the mix. And the spider is now engaged, which is excellent. The goblin wolf riders are riding. So I'm going to try and overwhelm him here, actually. I'm going to try and take out these Reiksguard, and I'm going to use Ere We Go to make these goblins into just killing machines. And hopefully they can generate some good value here. So let's go here. Shaman's back here. Let's get him a little bit closer. But we'll see how it goes. And it looks like it's going okay, actually. So, and then I have this other group of goblin wolf riders back here who I can collapse on these guys. Let's try and get in the pocket there. And then you get in here. Let's get him in the front line so he can encourage the boys. Let's get the Wa. Let's go ahead and engage there. And it looks like, how's this battle going here? It's going pretty well for me. Not the best engagement, but regardless, it's not horrible. So let's use that here to buff these troops. And I got these goblins in the wings, and now the pocket's open here. So those other two goblin wolf riders were sacrificial lambs in a way, but now I was able to get in there, and I still do have the big bosses. So that one group of Reiksguard pretty much cleaned up, and now these goblins got here, which is good. So let's go ahead and switch the missile fire onto this group here, because that group's still a little healthier. So you don't want the gobos to get tied up for too long, so you want to just be like cycling them through the enemy backlines here. And you see the goblins are just running through, causing havoc here. And now we got the shaman. Let's get him back a little bit. Over here, yeah, that was actually, those Reiksguard were tough. But, oh, that's because he landed Karl Franz over there. So he invested a lot. Looks like the gobos are back. Let's bring them back here. And these guys are back as well. So let's get them back into the fight. Let's use this potion here preemptively because he's going to be taking a lot of damage. So right now, things are going pretty well, I would say. Let's get the Doom Divers here. Just got to make sure this Orc War Boss doesn't get tripped up here. A little scary here. So let's path him around. Get him up with some of the troops. And right here, I just completely demolished my opponent. So let's do this. And we can get some of the lads and just stick them on these handgunners here. So that's going pretty well for me. And now that I got these Doom Divers, kind of let's target these Reiksguard. And let's have the Spider get on these Reiksguard as well. They have nothing in their repertoire that is good against, these particular units. So let's go ahead and buff. Been a little lax about that, so I need to jump on that a little better. He's back, so let's get this guy back. Let's have him chase down these guys here. Make sure they don't come back. And this guy can go and chase down these guys, use his potion. So things are going pretty well for me. I would say I was able to win most of those melee engagements. Let's go up and around and target those guys. That's good. And those lads are doing great. They're doing some good work. And my wins in magic are really just staying healthy this game. Let's go ahead and use that every chance we get. So the old boy Karl just landed. He's trying his hardest, but it's looking pretty grim. The gobos are kind of running shot back there. Got this big boss here. You want to use him to chase down units, make sure they don't come back. Over here, this is one of his last bastions too, is those greatswords. So these guys were able to chase off those guys, which is great. You want to just let's get the shaman in there. He needs to be fighting because he does do pretty good damage. Has pretty good combat stats. Looks like the war boss, the Wa is back up. Let's use that. Let's say Karl's. So you want to get, when you see that Karl's running like that, you want to get him out of there, get that Orc Shaman, and once he's out of that mix, I can go ahead and shoot a magic missile effect. So that's definitely good. So I'm just going to push past this line here because he doesn't have much left, and you can see the Doom Divers are still just getting great pot shots here. All right, let's get the Orc Shaman in the high ground there. Oh, looks like he's sniping one of my poor lads over here, so let's get the boss up there. Over here is going pretty good. Those greatswords are resilient, man. And I got the Goblin Wolf Riders here, so let's use them to get some of those handgunners. These guys come back, chase off those guys there. And then I got the Shaman up here, so let's go ahead and use my buff on the main battle over here. And then we want to go here and let's see if I can get a magic missile effect. So we'll overcast it here. Let's go. Take him out. Is it going to go? Okay. Wasn't quite as exciting as we wanted, guys, but hey, can't complain. So he's doing a pretty good job with Carl right now. He's mainly just chasing down my units, but you can see it's kind of like a goblin mess all over his ranks. So, and now I was able to clean up out there as well. So let's just use my cheesy kind of routing units to... Oh, are these guys still fighting over here? Oh, it looks like they're shaking. They're still going. Okay, let's finish them off. Going here. Got this guy. Let's get him back in the mix here. And he did get my other big boss, it looks like. So call the Orc War boss back. Things are getting a little messy now. Can usually devolve to this when your opponent just has like a few flying units left, you know. But he has some decent troops left. The power meter, you know, I have quite a few more troops, but again, can never underestimate them. Now let's get this guy here. He's getting a little out of control. Looks like the Black Orcs, they need to get that Amber Wizard. Let's get the Spider there too. Doom Divers are still in good shape, so now let's just start shooting at Carl. Why not? And this guy, the Orc War boss, let's bring him back. He was chasing off some troops. A little reckless there, but now that Amber Wizard is surrounded, so the Spider is going to do a pretty good job. Black Orcs were able to clean up, so let's reform our ranks here. Get all our troops back. Oh, looks like he still has some stuff left, which isn't bad. Looks like this guy is broken. So you don't need to necessarily invest everything in him. You know, just stick some goblins after him, and they'll keep him off the battlefield. Looks like that's pretty much it for my opponent. So good game there. It was a little hectic at first. Good to see someone bring Karl Franz too, but he didn't bring any of the new units. Maybe he doesn't have the DLC yet, but I was a little disappointed in that. But you guys can saw. You guys can see when you run these goblin compositions, the battles just get crazy hectic because you have so many units coming back from route and just cycling and just all that kind of stuff. But Doom Divers did very well. Can't complain about that. And Ragnarok Spider also did quite well. Black Orcs, just obviously the MVPs. I mean, the Gobos, that's a lot of kills, though. You guys can see they did great. I might have made a little bit of a tactical error investing those Wolf Riders as well as the big bosses on these Reiksguard, but I think Karl Franz landed, and that's what made the difference. Otherwise, with the buffs, they would have been able to take out the Reiksguard, I think, and the bosses. So, good game to my opponent, Sergey. Look forward to seeing you again on ladder, and or Sergey. And thank you guys for watching. More content coming soon, and I hope you enjoyed this live BattleCast. Take care.